What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. And in today's tutorial, we've got a mid to high bald fade. Not touching the top. We're going to use a curl sponge, get those curls reactivated, give them a really sharp line up in the front. Let's get things started. So I'm going to kick things off by coming in with my Slimline Pro LIs. This is my backed up trimmers, and we're going to set in the bald line. This is basically the foundation for the haircut and the shape that we're going for. Flip it over, and I'm going to immediately flick or scoop at that top line to remove it, because I know personally with my clipper arsenal that my Metal Magic Clip closed will take out this trimmer line, and I don't have to come back in later and hit it again. So that's why we make sure that we initially put it in with the Slimline, immediately take it out. It just eliminates that step later on. And here we're coming in, like I said, Metal Magic Clip. We've got an open section here about an inch high. And you'll notice once I comb this hair out of the way, I did drop it in the front a little bit because I wanted his front vertical bar to be a little bit darker so that we could put a nice sharp line on it. Now I'm going to close it up halfway. We're going to go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that initial open section. I'll close it up all the way and you'll see that bottom line disappear. So this is the part of the haircut where we're connecting the sides to the top. That's why I went ahead and picked it out again. We want all the tangles out. We want to make sure that the shape is correct. So now we're coming in with an open 2-guard on the Cordless Senior modified with the Andis Master blade. We're making sure that we flick out at the top. We don't want to put any harsh lines in there. And then we'll come in immediately behind this. I'll switch back over to the Metal Magic Clip and use the Wahl Premium 1.5. That's just a really good connecting guard between the Andis 1 and the Andis 2 guard. So I have this 1.5 closed up. We're just flicking up about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that 2-guard area. And then we'll come in immediately behind this with an open 1 guard and we'll start that section. So if you guys will notice through this whole clip here, I keep my left hand on the left side of his head there. That's simply because there are some kids that, regardless of how little or how much pressure you put whenever you're, fading the side of their head, they lean with you. So I was just kind of holding my hand there, keeping him a little bit in place so that we could get through this fade a little bit easier. You guys know how difficult it is sometimes, to cut somebody's head when they're leaning all the way off the other side. But all we did there, we did the open 1 up into that 1.5. We closed it up, hit the bottom of that line, took an open 0 right there, blended that right into the 1 guard. Now we took the guard off. We're using an open no guard. We're just hitting the dark spots right at the base of that fade. It's going to come right out and we'll be able to move right into the back. So this didn't end up doing much at the time, but I felt the need just to be safe. I took a 3-guard, closed it up, and we went just above that initial 2-guard just to make sure that the connection between the sides and the top was good. I mean, could I have skipped that step and saved a few, half a minute to a minute? Yeah, sure. But just wanted to make sure, be on the safe side. And then here we are into the back. Same exact steps, guys, so I'm going to let this ride for a sec. So real quick, I'm going to give you a rundown on the Tomb 45 Online Academy. If you haven't seen that, the link's in the description of this video or any of my other videos. It's a monthly subscription-based tutorial academy that allows you to get connected with some of the top barbers out there. So you get S-Craft Blends, Dre Cut It Out, Get Beam, Sean Cuts Hair, and Chris Bazio. Each week, one or multiple of those guys will post a video on there that allows you to be in a Zoom call with them as well as everyone else that joins in. They can pause the video, answer any questions that you guys have. They can pause the video, they can draw on the screen and explain in depth what it is they're doing, why they're doing it. It won't be sped up like this or other YouTube videos. It'll be the full uncut, unsped up video, and they can really go in depth about it. And there's also a Discord that allows you to connect with a lot of other barbers across the United States and then elsewhere, I guess, if they sign up. So it's just a really good way to be connected with other people in the industry, and you can learn from them. The good thing about it is those 5 guys, they all come from different backgrounds. They all excel at different, types of hair, different haircuts. And so it's just a great way to learn and expand your knowledge in the barbering career. So consistency is key, guys. Make sure that whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. We got to keep things consistent. So we're going to do the same steps here. This was the Slimline Pro Li. We tapped in that bald line, flipped it over. We're flicking it out immediately. We're coming in with a Metal Magic Clip. We're doing an open section. This is about 3/4 of an inch to an inch high. We're going to close the lever up halfway, and we're going to go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through this initial open section. We'll close it up all the way, drop down just a little bit, and we'll take out that bald line. So although I did say on the other side that the 3-guard close didn't take off much hair, I used it, so I wanted to make sure to keep things consistent. I used it on this side as well. Now we've got a 2-guard close. This is what's really going to do the connection between the sides and the top. Switch over to an open 1.5. This is the Wahl Premium Guard set. And then we'll switch back real quick after this to the 1-guard and the Andis. Open. And then you'll use it halfway open, and you'll go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that initial open section. You'll close it up all the way. You'll go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that half open section. You'll close it up all the way, and that'll pretty much, once you open and close that 0-guard, that'll pretty much take it all the way out. You can probably come in just below that, use a no guard with the blade wide open, and use the corners of the blade just to really pinpoint any dark spots that are left, and bring that fade all the way together from the bald up through that open section. So for lineups, what I like to do is take a couple hair clips and a comb, really comb the fro up out of the way, clip it up. Whatever falls down, that's usually what's able to be cut as a lineup. So I'm taking a comb, combing all that stuff into place. We'll use a face shield, spritz some hairspray through there, use a baby brush, really lock that hair into place, and then I'm going to use some hair fibers, basically just to darken the line a little bit so that I know where his natural line is. Obviously, you could tell before I did this, it was a little darker. I'm going to start in the middle of the hairline, work my way out to one corner. We'll come back to the middle, work our way out to the other side, and then we'll get into the vertical bars. Alright, so like I alluded to in my thumbnail, if you guys didn't notice that, these lineups, there's a lot of almost in a way mathematical stuff to these lineups, because what it is you're wanting to have that perfect 90-degree angle in these corners so that you get that perfect box and these hairlines are crispy and all that stuff. So what you do is you use natural reference points that the head gives you. So if you use the vertical bar on the left side and it comes down and it meets the outside of his eye, when you do the vertical bar on the right side, it should in theory meet that same spot. That's how you keep it consistent, and that's how you keep these lineups sharp, and you keep it really boxed in. Now what we're doing, we're picking out the top again. We're going to spritz it with some water, and then I'm going to use a curl sponge, really working around in that circular motion, making sure that we get these curls in here nice and tight. That about does it for this haircut, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you thought. While you're down there, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new. Enable those notifications and you'll never miss another haircut from me. I'm making sure that we're still sticking with that every Sunday and Wednesday schedule. Got my man in here cleaned up, nice bald fade on the sides, curl sponge on top, and a crispy lineup, making sure that we get those angles nice and right. Until the next video, guys, I appreciate it.